This is Ken Burnside with Astra Games, and my opponent tonight is John McLennan. Say hi, John. And we are playing a practice round for the Squadron Strike Battle League, where I'm flying the ships that I designed, and John is flying the ships that he designed, with a little bit of assistance from me. If you're looking at the screen right now, you're seeing effectively over my shoulder, and on the left-hand edge of the screen, there is a picture of a map. You can see that our ships are elevated over the map, or at least mine are. And John's over here in blue in the lower right-hand corner are coming at it. This is an unusual game in that all of the ships in this, half the ships in this match, my three, are using movement mode 1, which would be described as Ukhoizian or cinematic movement, and my opponent, John, is flying with mode 2 ships with much higher thrust. I'm switching on over to the Turn tab, and I am about to start through Turn 1. John, feel free to ask questions that are rules related and the like, and hopefully, and we also have Mike listening in. Mike, if you can jump on rules questions when I'm in the middle of a plotting phase, it would be much appreciated. And begin. All right, and beginning on Turn 1. If you take a look here, you're going to see a list of 6 ships. The ones in blue are mine, with the horrible, unpronounceable names, and the ones with the much more pronounceable names, Shadow, Caster, and Dancer, are John's, because, well, John is a human. And right now what's happening is, if we switch over to the Dice tab, it is automatically rolling our aggression checks. All of John's ships have a crew rate of 4+, mine have a 6+, and all of us succeeded on getting our aggression checks run. Back over to the map. And now we get to see the various things in the sequence of play. The very first step we're doing is generating action points, then spending action points for cooling weapons. John will be doing that later, because right now his weapons are already ready to arm. We just did our crew checks for aggressive fire. We can move crew between locations. I have assigned my damage control parties on all of my ships. John, if you haven't assigned yours, this is a good time to go do so. You get to pick where they go. All right. That is why it's shown up on this list, so that you have a visual reminder if you remember to read. Yeah, because you made all of your aggression checks. Yep. All of your missiles are already armed. They start the scenario armed unless they have irreversible, which they no longer do. We learned our lesson. So, if you're ready, hit your red button and I'll advance. Okay. Waiting for it to show up on my end. There we go. So the left part of this screen that you're seeing here, as I'm going through this, are basically the tools that you use for running the game. It's basically the Avid Assistant as sort of a addition in the browser tab. Now I'm dragging the border on this a little bit so that I can try and get all of the tools up and running. There we go. Perfect. All right. So we're in the plotting phase, and the Kovuk is selected. And it looks like all of mine are aggressive. And up here at the top, I can cycle through my ships. This is my heavy cruiser, the Kovuk. This is the Liaveg, one of my Zarp light cruisers. And this is the Goluk, the other Zarp light cruiser. Down here we see the Avid, and the blue windows that you can see are the ones that I can pivot into, and the fuchsia circle that is the fuchsia crosshairs that's circled is a predictive bearing from my selected ship, which is currently the Goluk, and the Castor, which is one of his shadow light cruisers. I can cycle through his ships as well on the bottom. There's the Dancer, and there's the Shadow. We are currently at a range of 38. Or rather, a predictive range of 38. When I move to my end of turn marker and he moves to his, we'll be at about range 38. Down here, I have a place where I can adjust my vertical plot and where I can adjust my horizontal plotting grid. Down here at the bottom, I have a green button that is highlighted that indicates I can pivot. If I click this, move the star on it, that means I can now roll. You can see that it changed shape, that it changed the highlighted cells to the ones that are adjacent to the star rather than the nose. I'm going to switch back to pivoting. And this is how I turn on my thrust, by clicking the button that looks like a rocket engine with a plus sign in it. Yep. We're going to do a thrust of 3, eventually. I hope. There we go. Apparently, trying to do things that are web interactive while I'm recording the screen is making the application a little bit slow. Zero. Except for Acrobat Reader. We are also. I am also on a mesh network broadband rather than a dedicated cable connection, and it is Prime Netflix. It is Prime Netflix time, but. It's still shutting down more apps because, hey, maybe that calculator app is using enough of the memory available that this isn't viable. All right. So I want to side slip in direction C, which is side slip up. As you can see, I just clicked the button that looks like a T-square, and that shifted this arrow in the yellow region from straight level to up a little bit, so I'm gaining an ax of altitude. John, of course, is too good of a sport to actually take advantage of that. And now I'm side-slipping there. And now I'm paralleling the maneuvers here. Paralleling this one here. Let's check the last one here, because that line didn't shift the way I expected it to, and that would be why. So, when I'm adjusting my maneuvers, you can also see up here on the map, where I'm circling my mouse cursor, that it adjusted where my end of turn markers are going to be. Only I get to see this until we actually synchronize, and then everybody's adjusts at the same time. I am done with all of my movement plotting. John, are you done with yours? Looks like you are. Yep. So this button down here turns green whenever John has clicked his I'm done button, so that I can't accidentally force him through a segment of the turn. And now we're going from adjust EOT markers to moving our ships. And you can see that I've picked up some speed. I'm now going about twice the speed that John is. And we don't have any torpedoes yet to move, but we will eventually. John, if you could click your red button. Thank you. John, if you could click, there you go, thank you. It took a few seconds. Like I said, I've got so many, there's something that is making this machine unhappy. Probably recording the video. Alright, now we're on the activate defenses phase. And I'm going to click this just to show what we can do. You click the blue button and you pull up the console. My ships have ECCM, so what I would be doing on these would be selecting each of these ships in turn. Mike, does it automatically roll ECCM or not? Okay. So if I were activating ECCM, which I will just to show it, for each of my ships, I would go into the Arcs tab, select the ship, or go do it here on the map. I can click on my ship and select it, I hope. It does still work, right, Mike? Yes, it does. It just takes a while because we're recording. And then I would roll 2 crew rate checks. That's a failure. And that's also a failure. However, because my ship is aggressive, one of those failures turns into a success. So, over on the Turn tab, I would put in my ECM, which is turned on, and one of my 2 ECCM, which is turned on. And then I do the same thing for the Leovig. That's a success. And that's a success. So 2 ECM, 1 ECCM. Other way around, actually. 2 ECC, 1 EC. And then going over here and doing the same thing for the Golic. And 2 successes there. I'm on to the combat phase now. Switching over to the map. And going over to the Arcs tab. So on the Arcs tab, I have a view that looks like a firing arc diagram. The red cell is the cell that I see the target through. The blue cell is the cell that I see the target's end of turn marker through. The ranges, the range from a red triangle is the range from my ship to his ship in red, and from my ship to his end of turn marker is in blue, with a red triangle leading into a blue. Down here at the bottom, if I were crazy enough to be shooting at range 38, which I am not, I would be firing on his nose facing, and the die roll modifier would be +0. I am going to chuck a torp. We're launching the end of turn marker. And why is my launch speed? This is true. This is true. I should go to proper etiquette. So let's write down our plots, our firing, our attacks. Okay. And you can see my fire plot because I just pulled up a text window and wrote it down. All right, so I'm on, any defensive fire? I'm assuming none. Standard fire, I'm ready to launch torpedoes. All right. Next. And repeat. And third torpedo is about to get launched. And you just saw me launch 3 torpedoes, one from each of my ships to one of John's ships. Do you have anything else that goes on in the combat phase, John? Okay. I'm recording my cooldowns on the torpedoes that have launched. Each lab box gives you 6 hexes of range. So, so I believe you have 3 lab boxes in one group. Okay, so when the torpedo gets at range 3, you can, sorry, not range 3, range 18, you can attempt to make a crew right check. At range 12, you can make 2 crew rate checks, and at 1 crew rate check, I get to tell you the top row on the torpedo, which is basically its thrust, armor, toughness, etc. And if you get 2 successes, I tell you everything about it. Yes. All right. Anything else in the crew actions phase? All right. Onward to turn 2. And you can see here on the start of the turn that my torpedoes are out there, my ships are out there, and so are his. All right. If you would hit your red button, John. I think you've already done it, and I'm just waiting for it to propagate. There it is. All right. And, yeah. I'm transferring 1 AP down my chain of command. This is written records not handled by the app to each of my destroyers so that I can re-roll them. Re-roll their aggression. Re-roll. Re-roll. All right, we can see that discipline is mighty in my fleet. Okay. And then select reroll. No, actually no. Go to the click on the blue button where it shows your list of ships. And then click on the ship that's aggressive and hit the button that says reroll, and it will log it all for you automatically. All right. Are we done with the pre-plotting phase? All right, on to plotting. I'm done with my plotting when you are. Let's make sure I replicated that across all 3 ships. I'm just double checking to make sure I didn't miss a ship. All right. All right, and you can see how the end of turn markers have adjusted. Whenever you're ready. That's okay. Take your time to check. Take your time to check. Let me know when it's ready to, when you're ready for me to advance. Okay. All right, and now we get to see the torpedoes move. Well, did you declare ramming before the start of your plotting phase? Okay, then we don't have to. Then you don't have to make a speech, and the hexes are big enough that you're not going to ram into each other accidentally. Yep. All right. So I'm going to do something clever with my torpedoes. I'm going to do an automated move, but I'm doing that. All right. And you'll see on the map that it has just updated through the torpedo positions. And now we activate our defenses. You were a very, very clever person there, but not quite clever. But not quite clever enough. Oh, we might as well. You managed to stay exactly 1 hex out of my range. Except for my nearest destroyer. where you are just barely an arc. Spending the action point. Well, writing down my plotting orders. Do you have any defensive fire? Actually, no, we're not at that stage yet. Activate defenses. I didn't even need to tell you were an arc, that you were in gunnery range or not. All right. Mm-hmm. And I get one of those to work. Mm-hmm. I'm ready to advance to the combat phase. Thank you. All right, plot out attacks. Let's go to arcs. Mm-hmm. Yes, but your odds aren't great. I have my fire orders allocated. I am ready to fire. I am launching a torpedo from each of my 3 ships, from the launchers on the other side. Let's make sure I have that written right there. Oops, that should be the dancer. The caster. Sure. So because my lead ship is aggressive, it can only fire at the closest target, which happens to be the that does happen to be the caster. I hope. Oh, the Golem is in range of the dancer as well. Which probably means... And the Kovac is just out. As you can see, well, your timing is great, John. As you can see, John turned on his ECM. And because I didn't do a good job of double checking all of my ranges, the Goluk is firing at a +3 shift. So, the Goluk is going first. It is firing one heavy vacuum reverberator at the dancer. The vacuum reverberator at this range normally needs a 5+ to hit. The Goluk is firing on your nose for a +3 shift, so it needs an 8 or better to hit. If it hits, what is it firing with? A heavy vacuum reverberator. I was about to give you that information here. It hits on a 5+, which becomes an 8+. If it hits, it does 3 points of damage and up to 7 points of penetration. If a miracle occurs and it actually gets through your forward shields, which I don't think it will, it has skip's hull and no blow-through. So, let's see if we can get our first miss out of the way. No, we don't get our first miss out of the way. 6 points of damage to your forward shield. On the dancer. This is a heavy vacuum reverberator. It is one of my big guns. It's a beam. Yes, it is a beam. Yeah. Okay. Yep. So... and 6 points. Okay, so the Liaveg needs a 7+ to hit, and misses. And now I'm launching torpedoes from all 3 of my ships. and all of my fire is done. So I fired one big gun and ended up blowing off his shield reinforcement, thus making his action point expenditure really useful. And I'm ready to go on to the crew action phase. Yep. I have nothing to do in the crew action phase. Let's check. All right. Torpedo 459. And I'm looking at caster, correct? From the torpedo to caster is currently range 24. Yep. Next turn. Yep. All right. Do you need anything on the start of the turn, or can we advance to pre-plotting? Great. I think my internet just went out. There we go. My internet flickered out for just a moment. All right. None of your crew are upset. All right. I'm going to spend one action point and attempt to reroll that guy. Oh, I can't. He's my flagship. Never mind. All right, I am done with the pre-plotting phase. I'm shifting some action points down my chain of command. I don't have to announce that to my opponent, but I'm announcing it to the people watching at home. Yep, I'm waiting for this to respond. There we go. And we'll see if this works. In standard fire, yes. Defensive fire, no. Defensive fire, you fire only. Defensive fire is only on the turn of impact. All right. Mm-hmm. All right. I'm just going to set the automatic moves on these as I click through all of them. So, Mike, if I just click the green button, it will do the automatic move on everything, right? Okay. All right. All right. First things first. I have an advantage over you in that I know that your guns point more or less due forward, and you're not pointed, and you don't seem to be pointed straight up, are you? Hard to tell. Let's go zoom in and take a look. Particularly since we're at a point where the map actually looks kind of interesting. Yeah, you're more or less tilted up at about a 60-degree angle or a 30-degree angle. And there are a bunch of torpedoes coming in at you. And look at that. A little more light on this would be good. The sun has gone down. Time to make some crew rate checks. Hey, that's 2 successes. Gulk. Ignore that crew rate check. That is 1 success for the Leovic. And the Kovac is aggressive, I believe. Yep. 2 successes. That's good. My defenses are allocated. Not a problem. I was kind of doing the same thing as well. Yep. All right. Yep. Onward to plotting fire. No worries. I'm writing up my plots, and we'll see what happens. Nah. That is correct. Note that if you do not see the my end of turn marker and my ship in the same firing arc window, you don't have to worry about accidentally nuking your own missiles. Right. If you're not seeing the red mark and the blue mark in the same grid coordinate on the sphere, you don't have to worry about accidentally killing your own missiles with them. You can use it offensively on my torpedoes at offensive fire. I will. And they have, and the weapons have and the torpedoes have 3 profile. So you're adding +3 to your accuracy target, and your maximum damage is capped at 3. The DMG value, not the total amount that you can do from the weapon. Correct. The DMG value. Your pen is unchanged. Your DMG is treated as with 3 if it's higher than 3. And for those wondering why Mike said my ship art was terrifying earlier, I'm zooming in on the art. That's okay. So what I do is I basically pull up a window in Notepad++ and just write out my fire orders, one ship at a time. Sure. Didn't actually have those to fire. I fired last turn. All right. So, on to the turn phase. Defensive fire step. I assume that... do you have anything you're firing in defensive fire? Okay. You would use that... I'm not launching any missiles. There aren't any missiles out there. I'm not sure why you asked that question. In this particular scenario, yes. All right. Standard fire. All right. I'll have you start. All right, so the shadow is firing at what? All right. I have the Golux SSD up. It is coming in on the right side shield. Fire away. Yep. And since this is an area effect weapon, are any of my other ships in the same window? And will I also be taking damage? All of them. Okay. Yeah, they need to be in the exact same window where your nose icon is. Yeah, double check, because that's one of the cool things your weapon does, is it can shatter an entire formation. Okay, so you're going to be firing at both of these ships on a 4+. Fire away on the first one. All right. So what's your base damage? Your penetration roll is 2, so 8 points of damage to both of those ships. The Goluk has 3 points of deflector shields, so 5 gets through that and whittles away at some of the shield reinforcement. The Liavek has 3 points of deflector and 5 points of the damage that remains, whittles away in some shield reinforcement. Is the shadow firing at any of the torpedoes? So because of a sequencing issue, all fire from one ship is resolved at once, regardless of how many targets you have. So tell me which torpedo you're firing from for the shadow. Oh, you. Okay, fire the Golek. Okay, so it's launching those. But they don't hit until next turn. Yeah. You click on the missile button and we'll deal with them next turn. Okay. Okay. And the Liaveg has a +1 profile, has a +1 ECM modifier. Do you have any EC? You need a 7. Yep. First one. Hits. Good damage. 8 damage total. -3 deflection, and that's the Liaveg. That removes the rest of the reinforcement on that shield. Mm-hmm. Nicely done. That will be 6 damage. Minus 3 becomes 3 shield bubbles damaged. No. Okay, Torp 459. Let me go and make it. Yeah, let me go and actually cycle through 188, 690, 309, 115, 774, 459. Target at the shadow. Got it. Mm-hmm. Yes, this is range. Actually, it looks like it's range 8. Oh, wait, that's the dancer, not the shadow. My bad. Range 9 to the shadow. Yep. Yep. The red square is what you need. Yep. Yep. Okay. All right. All right. Mm-hmm. Okay. With the coronal discharge, is the Leoveg also in arc? Okay. So just the Golik. All right. What did you hit with your last one? No, but you rolled a 9 to hit with it. Yes. Because... Okay. Yeah, you rolled a 9 on your accuracy. And... basically, area effect weapons. Let me take a look in the rulebook real quick. Because these are coming in from slightly different angles. Should they still be fratricide? That was unexpected. Yeah, they're targeting the same hex and altitude. So, your accuracy to hit for the coronal discharge is a 9+. Miss? Okay. Yep. Okay. Yep. Mm-hmm. Does that become a 6+ because of... That becomes a 6+ because of ECM? Yep. And this is on the Leoveg. You need a 7. Yeah, it should just be a plus. Near as I can tell, you should be hitting on a 6+, not a 7+. Yep. Okay, so John, if you look at the button at the bottom, the number of parentheses is the die roll modifier. So just remember to add that in. It'll save you a few... Nope. Okay. Roll the hit, please. Okay. You need a 6+ to hit. That's a 1. Okay, and this is from the dancer. That hits. That's 8 points. Okay, so it looks like you rolled a pen of 4, so 8 damage total on the Gulag on the right. Alrighty. -3, and that blows away the last of the reinforcement. You've already rolled 1 dancer. Okay. Okay, Torpedo 309. Got it. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. All right. Okay. You need a 9. Go for it. Miss. All right. Damage 4, pen 2 is your roll, so 6 damage total. -3 for the deflection becomes 3 shield bubbles marked. You're keeping it symmetrical between the two light cruisers. All right. Yes. 2 more missiles away when you're ready. Okay. And now. Okay. Okay. All right. All right. So, my turn. Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. I am firing from the Kovak. 2 vacuum reverberators at the dancer. They hit on a 5+ for 3 damage and 6 pen. Attack number 1. Oops, wrong thing. Okay. And this is at the dancer. Okay. The dancer is prefer the dancer to receive fire. Vacuum reverberator number 1 needs a 5+ to hit you. I am waiting for this to actually return the result to me. Mike, can you see my die roll? Okay. So the damage... Yeah. Okay. Okay. There we go. Now I see it. Okay, so that is a hit. That is going to be 11 points of damage. to the Dancer's forward shield. Sorry, 10 points of damage. Okay. Okay, so that's... Yep. Vacuum Reverberator number 2 from the Kolak. Hits for 3 damage. Heavy Vacuum Reverberator number 1 of 4. Misses. Heavy Vacuum Reverberator number 2 of 4. Misses. Heavy Vacuum Reverberator number 3 of 4. Misses. Heavy Vacuum Reverberator number 4 of 4. Hits for 1 pen, so 5 damage to that shield. Alright. The Goluk is up next. Sorry, the Liaveg is up next. The Liaveg is firing a single Vacuum Reverberator, the small variety, and still at the Dancer, and needs a 6+ to hit you. Miss. And the Goluk needs a 5+ to hit you with the same weapon. That's a hit. And that will be 7 points of damage to your forward shield. Nope, that's all of my guns. There aren't even any torpedoes launched because those tubes are cooling down. Yes, I am done with the combat phase if you are done with the combat phase. All right. All right. Mm-hmm. Yep. So pick a torpedo, and pick a torpedo. Is there a torpedo within range 6? Are there multiple torpedoes within range 6? The red value, correct. Okay. No. So you get one. You get to make 3 crew rate checks. You get to make 2 crew rate checks for any torpedo that's within range on the torpedo of your choice within range 12. Okay. So make 2 crew rate checks. Okay. Okay. All right. So pick a torpedo. All ships have how many groups of labs do you have? A group is a set of adjacent lab boxes. 2 groups of 3, right? Okay. So each ship can pick 2 different torpedoes and can make 2 crew rate checks against that torpedo. On a success, on a success, I tell you one thing. On 2 successes, I tell you everything. Yes, and the reason why I was suggesting that you do 2, that you concentrate on 2 or 3, is just in case I have different kinds of torpedoes, which I don't, but other people will do this stunt. You will need to identify multiple torpedoes in a swarm to get everything. Mine are all identical, so it doesn't really matter. And I'm actually, roll them just so you can get the fun of rolling the crew rate checks, but I sincerely doubt that you're going to fail on a 4+ with 12 rolls. Choose. Okay. You've got everything. All right. So my torpedoes have a warhead strength of 13. They have a penetration of 9. They have multi-hit bearing plus 2 adjacent, meaning that if they hit your ship, they not only damage the shield that they strike, but they damage the 2 adjacent shields to it. And I pick which axis they are adjacent on at the time that they hit. They're also toughness 2 and armor 2, which means that they will take a fair bit of shooting to whittle down. They can still miss. Hey, I needed 5 pluses to hit you and missed with all 4 of my big heavy guns. Mm-hmm. Mm. Yep. Mm-hmm. One second, I'm going to pull up your SSDs. These are the shadows. Oh, wait, that was dumb of me. I actually have them up right here. All right. So I see 2 general shield regenerators on your ship. Yep. You can get 4 bubbles back on the shield of your choice. Yep. And both of my destroyers have. Let's make sure I have this right. Both of my destroyers can regenerate all the damage on their right shields. And we'll see if all that ammunition that I threw your way is actually going to work. All right. Alrighty, onward. Has to be good ice cream. I'm waiting for it to let me. I'm waiting for it to let me advance because it's doing lots of updates, and I don't think this version has the... Mike, does this actually have the fix to the synchronization issue? Or are we doing Sync Classic? Nope. Okay, so we're doing Sync Classic. Mm-hmm. No, those torpedoes are almost certainly going to be hitting you this turn. No, they won't until torpedoes move after ships. They won't until after you move. Yep. All right. Oh, my destroyers aren't. Mm-hmm. Sorry, my light cruisers are unhappy, but they got shot at. Papers. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right. All right. Action points marked. Yes, it is. I'm done plotting. Okay. Yep. And I was counting missiles coming in at me. Oh, come on. No, it's about the same number. There are 6 missiles and 6 torpedoes on the map. There's balance in all things. Probably. That is the hope, anyway. Waiting for it to synchronize. Waiting for it to sync up. All right. EOTs are being adjusted. All right. Waiting for you to go green. Mm-hmm. Not yet. Mm-hmm. I'm still on olive. I'm still on olive soup 158. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right. So somebody needs to click agree. Yeah, I'm ready. Yep. Mm-hmm. I'm. Oh no, it's not overloading my computer. It's overloading Google's computer. So. I roll the dice down in Africa. All right. Mike has a feature request. When we select a ship on the ECM and ECCM thing, being able to actually roll for my ECCM from there and have it be the selected ship would be useful. And cuts down on the number of clicks that I have to do. Oh, that's gonna suck. Alright. And you aren't even aggressive. So I don't get one of those back. Okay. And time for the allocations of things. So the good news for you is that my big cruiser, which is controlling 2 of those torpedoes, rolled bupkis on my crew rate checks for ECCM. And you're going to be shooting in my general direction. Let's make sure I've got... Oh, that's so convenient. That makes me so happy. So you're firing on the left shield. No, you're firing on your choice of the left or the nose. So that means I have to split my reinforcement. Keel mounts are kind of annoying. Okay. One firing arc window? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I have my defenses allocated. Are you putting up any shield reinforcement? Okay. Onward to the plotting of attacks. Mm-hmm. close enough, so that one's easy. It is even better than that. You're going to be firing into the range of your choice out to the maximum of interceptor range. So your interceptor trait has a range, probably 3. Okay. Mm-hmm. You are firing in the defensive fire step so that you can kill them before they hit you. I stopped because I was cross-cutting with Mike. Defensive fire is basically shooting at the missiles, shooting at the torpedoes at your best possible shot under all circumstances. You don't want to hold on to standard fire because guess what? The torpedoes will hit you before you get to shoot them. What do you mean too small for this? What do you mean ranges are too small? Do you mean firing arcs or ranges? Okay. No. Mike, could you explain to him, can you look over his shoulder and explain to him how to use his KQs for defensive fire? I'm in the middle of allocating my own, and I can't do that and answer his questions at the same time. You need more than 19 to kill it. Out of range or out of arc? Okay. The reason why I'm being particular about this is that you have a tendency to use out of range as your excuse for everything not being able to fire, and I want you to be more precise about out of range or out of arc, because it does make a difference. So no. Most of my ships are at range 50, so the goal up to the shadow is 15, and the shadow has its nose pointed at the Goluk. The You should write down which shield you're shooting at, because I might guess wrong on where I put the reinforcement. Woohoo! I did manage to outmaneuver those damn coronal discharges. Yep. All right, I'm ready to declare my defensive fire. The Kovuk is firing 2 Mason Stilettos and 1 MP, 1 Mason Poignard at the 2 missiles in Missile Group 36. Missile number 1 in that group is getting 7 points. Missile number 2 is getting 8. So you're going to need to roll 2d10 minus twice and the die roller. It helps if you select Missile 36 as the active ship before you hit the die roller. Okay, 1 dies. Next one. 6 plus your 3 armor is 9, which means that missile lives. Because you only had 2 missiles in that group. Yep. Now select your next missile group, which I would like to be 557. 2 times again. 7 for the first one, 8 for the second. $36, 1 lived. Yep. 5 plus 3 is 8, lives. Yep. All right. So, the Leovag puts 10 points on missile number 1 in 372. Sorry, 5 points on each of missile 372. My bad. So, roll and don't roll poorly. I should have concentrated fire. Yep. For missile 372, make sure that's selected. Then hit 2d10 minus twice. Plus 3. 1 dies. 0 plus 3. 3 plus 3 is 6, which is more than the 5 I allocated, so 1's living. Finally, the Goluk is firing in its own self-defense, and it is putting 8 points into that missile that lived in Group 372. So roll missile 372 one more time. I'm waiting for a die roll to come out. He needs to roll missile 372 one more time, 2d10 minus. Okay. John, please roll missile 372 one more time. It got it. Okay. It lives. You only needed to roll one more time. Okay, so you have one missile from each of those 3 groups in spite of my best point defense efforts. That's gonna sting. The range, Mike, can you show him how to find the range that that missile traveled for firing its? Yes. So, how much is allocated to which torpedo? On all 6? Okay. Okay, we're going to do 188 first, because it's the one I have up. By the way, did you prioritize which torpedo you shot on based on my ECCM rolls? Because that is something you could have done if you wanted to. Okay, that's okay. So he knows what my ECCM rolls are before he has to allocate defensive fire. He knows that the torpedoes that are controlled by my cruiser got 0 ECCM. So they're hitting on a worst to hit number. So if you had to leave ones that you weren't shooting at, those are the 2 to not shoot at. All right. So torpedo 188, 20 points in. It has 2 armor and toughness 2, plus a 2d10 minus roll of 2. Wonderful. So 16 off. So 4 off leaves 16 left is an 8-point warhead. 88. 9. No, wait. 16 off is 8 off is a 5-point warhead. I should do the math right. All right, what's the next torpedo that's being engaged? 115. All right. No. Okay, when you allocate point defense to them, it just happens. I now make survival rolls. Because otherwise the game would take forever. Trust me, we did this the old way. 1 survival roll. And I get a 0. So, 115 is a 4-point torpedo. Just about. What's the next one I'm engaging? Okay, let's go back to 309. All right. Hey, at least got average. So that is going to be 5 off 15 is 7 points off the warhead. So that is a 6-point warhead. So 309 for 6. Hold on a moment. And 690. All right. Watch, this will be the one that I roll stunningly well, and then it's going to miss. Hey, so 13 is going to be 6 off 5 plus 2 is 7. Yep, 8-point warhead. And the 2 that are untouched are not that. 774. And 459. All right, we have now finished defensive fire. Would you like me to go first on allocating offensive fire, or would you like to go first? All right. Okay. All right, so we're going to start with the torpedoes from the Kovac. Torpedo number 1 from the Kovac on the Shadow is torpedo 690. And it needs it normally has a 3 plus to hit. This becomes a 6 plus. It is warhead strength 8 with penetration 9. And I need to check something here real quick. I'm pretty sure I got this right. Nope, that's on the Dancer. And that is coming in on the top facing of the Dancer, and its damage will hit the top, the forward, the front, and the aft. So, attack roll number 1. Let's see if it hits. Misses. Kovac's torpedo on the Shadow is torpedo number 774. That is an intact torpedo. And Shadow, where are you coming in? Shadow. It is coming in on the left side of the Shadow, and I'm choosing to have the two swing elements hit nose and aft. It needs a 6+ to hit for 13 and 9. And that's a 3. I don't know why you're so worried about these. I don't know why you're so worried about these torpedoes. Nope. Once they've made their attack roll, they are dead. If they had retargeting and there was something else that was further downrange, they could attempt to retarget that. Sure. All right. And checking my firing orders, and the Kovak is going to launch a torpedo. All right. Let's make sure. Oh no, I have to resolve them by ship. And that is all of the fire from the Kovak, because all of its guns are cooling off. Next up is the Liaveg. Okay, torpedo at Dancer. Liaveg at Dancer. Dancer. This is coming in on the top shield facing the Dancer. And there is going to be a +1 to hit, so it needs a 4+ to hit. And the damage elements from this on 309, it's doing 6 and 9, 6 damage, 9 pen. It is hitting the top, nose, and aft if it hits. Amazingly enough, it hits. 13 points to your top shield, your aft shield, and your nose shield. Let me know if any of that actually gets through your shielding. It's expensive. Correct. Four points getting in through the nose, the top and the aft are fine. Okay, 4 points to the 1 from the nose. Okay. Alrighty, that will be 4 points to the 1. Nothing special on damage allocation. You can put an armor on your big gun. Hello, my internet is still somewhat flaky, and the point disappears on the component armor on your big gun. Do you wish to do a hull substitution now? Okay. Do your hull substitution if you're doing it. Yep, kind of figured. Excellent. All right. So, the next torpedo that is coming on up is Liaveg on the Shadow. And Liaveg on the Shadow is torpedo number 459. That is an intact torpedo. Let's make sure I actually have the shadow correct. There we go. That is hitting the shadow. It needs a 4+ to hit. That is an intact torpedo. It is centered on the left side, and the swing elements are going nose and aft. And it hits. That is 18 points to the left, 18 points to the aft, 18 points to the front. How much comes in from which direction? Really? I'm impressed. Eight, 18 to the... 18... Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. So... Okay. All right. So... You tell me when you need to know a hit location, but I'm assuming that those shields are pretty thin at this point. Yeah. All right. So, Liavek is launching a torpedo, and I'm getting that taken care of now. Yes, I'm doing it that way. And that torpedo is launched inertialess. And Liavek is firing one heavy vacuum reverberator into the forward shield of the Shadow. Let me get this lined up. Double check that... No, I haven't rolled it yet. You probably will, but I haven't rolled it yet. Yes, yes. Range 15, the base to hit is going... Yeah, I need a 5+ to hit. That's a... Yes, but I get 0 pen. So take 4 points of shield damage on your forward shield. And that is all of the Liavek's fire. Now the Goluk, or rather its torpedoes. Torpedo on the Dancer. This will be hitting the top of the Dancer. And this is torpedo 188, which is strength 5, damage, strength 5, penetration 9. It needs a 4+ to hit. Top, front, and aft. It hits. Take 9 points each to the aft, the top, and the front. The first hit location is the 2. Front. Top aft nose. So from the top, nope, okay. 4 in from the top and 9 in from the nose. Okay, so the 4 in from the top hits hit location 2. Okay. You wish to do a hull substitution. Okay. 9 points from the front going to hit location 5. 9 points to the 5. Correct. So 2 points internal. 2 points to SI. Take them both. Probably. Your regenerators don't cost any action points, do they? Okay. Alrighty. This next one is going on the Shadow, and this is Torpedo 115. It has damage 4, penetration 9, hits on a 4+. It will be hitting the left, front, and aft facings of the Shadow. It hits. 9 points of damage each to left, front, and aft. So, 9 from the left is going to be to location 1. Three to SI. Take 1, and the remaining 2 points becomes pretty CGI on the other side of the ship. Okay, and 7 points on the nose next. Will do. Location from the nose, 5. Seven to SI. Two to SI. Take both of them. Okay. 2 points. 2 points to the aft. Now, if this is a 1 or that is location 8 from the aft. 2 points. All right. The Goluk is launching a torpedo. Oops, wrong thing. It is inertialess. It is launching. And the Goluk is going to be firing a heavy vacuum reverberator into the nose of the Shadow, which I believe is now down. So, the vacuum reverberator has skips hull, which means you can't do hull substitution, and if it hits a hit location with hull, you just treat it as if the hull isn't there. Yeah. My internet flaked out. It's coming back. Can you hear me now? Okay. If this hits, it has skips hull and no blow-through. It needs a 4+ to hit, which becomes a 5+ to hit. That is a 5. That is 7 points of damage to hit location 1, skipping hull, and no blow-through. It means that if it gets to SI, any damage that is not marked on SI wraps around to the next hit location and carries on. No. It doesn't skip SI. I still get to do damage to SI. How much damage is left? So 5 was used out of 7, so 2 to SI. Take the 2 to SI, and that ends it. You can't. There is no hull substitution for this weapon. That's what Skip's hull does. And that is all of my fire. All right, I am prepared to receive. Which ship is getting the joy? Okay. Which ship is getting the joy? Okay, you're going after my flagship. Got it. What shield facing am I taking? Left facing. Got it. All right. Just re-roll it. Just ignore the previous attack roll. Roll it from the caster. Excellent. Okay, so 8 damage total, minus 3 deflectors on the caster, means that 5 points comes in and marks off 4 points of shield regeneration and 1 shield bubble. That's a start. Caster had 2 weapons you were firing. So fire the second one. I don't want you to lose a weapon shot. That's a hit. So 5 points of damage, minus 3 deflection, becomes 2 points of shield. Next. Okay. Yes, it is. Oh. Which is a hit. So 4 points of damage, minus 3 deflection, is 1 point of damage, which actually marks off a deflector box. If you had more deflection, if you had more firepower coming in this turn, say, for example, your area effect guns, this would really start hurting. Please do resolve the missiles. There are 3 missiles coming in at the Goluk, and I do believe that those missiles are all hitting it on the front. Yep. That is from the shadow, so keep the shadow select. So actually select the shadow missile. Okay. Okay, right. Yep. Select the missile. Make your attack roll. What do you need to hit with this thing? Go select the Goluk as your target. Roll for it. Okay, that... So, 7 total damage to location 5, and that is on the Goluk. Okay, 7 minus 3 deflection is 4, which marks off 4 shield reinforcement. There's a little bit of shield reinforcement left. What's the next missile? It's also really expensive on putting these on my ships. Yep, each of them. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep, still coming in on the front shield. Roll to hit. You need a 4 or better to hit. Yep. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. All right. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I am marking off my cooldowns. Alright, I am done with the combat phase, if you are. Alright. Alright. Mm-hmm. Left shield region. I still have that. That is somewhere up here. There. Mm-hmm. That is correct. And if you have unused APs, which I don't think you do, do you have 2 unused bridge APs? It's assumed that you use reactor APs preferentially over bridge, so you will have bridge APs left at the end of the turn. So with a bridge AP, you can attempt to make a damage control attempt on any one box on your ship anywhere you see it, other than SI. You can't do that to SI. Correct. Correct. Okay. At the end of this turn, at the end of the combat phase, each ship had 1 left. They have to be 2 bridge APs on the same ship to become an ad hoc damage control party. If you had lent... Right. First things first, does the dancer need to repair any boxes? Okay. All right. Yep. Thumbs Magursky. Per shield regenerator? No, they can be allocated any way you like. Don't think the caster's even been touched. You need a pair of action points to make one ad hoc party. Do you want to try? Is there anything better than Hull that they can attempt to repair? Okay. 6. Hey! Now do your shield regeneration. Yep. Oh, did damage actually exit any of the locations where your damage control parties were? I don't know what hit locations your damage control parties are on, so I wasn't thinking to ask. Yep. Well, let's just use those 2 crew rate checks that you just made as survives, and then make 2 more crew rate checks to attempt to repair. All right. Then one of your damage control parties died on the last one, and the other one make a repair check. And yep. No, no, you don't. You had one that you had marked as permanently destroyed. So unmark that as permanent. So turn that into a slash rather than an X. That poor damage control technician got sucked out of the airlock before he could, plug the plasma phase conduit in backwards. Nope. You know how you have the little dots where you have your where you have your damage control parties to show which hit location they're in? Erase one of those dots. It's where you mark the locations for your damage control parties and offensive and defensive boarding parties if we ever get to that. That is correct. That is correct. Yep. And the ad hoc goes away at the end of the turn. So the Shadow still gets to regenerate shields, assuming it still has shield regenerators. All right, are we ready to move on to turn 5? And the Shadow still has 2 functional shield regenerators, correct? Okay. Okay, cool. Ready to move on to turn 5? So, this is a good place to stop, if you want to stop. We started at 7:45. We're almost exactly at 3 hours in. At the pace that we are going, I think we would get 2 more turns in with a full hour. Sure. I will pause this and... I'm pausing the